Hello, everyone. This is MV broadcasting from Cardiff, United Kingdom. Today is the 12th of May 2023. The time is 12:28. I said I'd broadcast at 12:30, so 2 minutes officially ahead of time. So if you're in North America, you're most likely just getting up and getting ready for work. That's if you're going into the office or going wherever you need to get to, getting dressed, having something to eat, something to drink, or walking to where you need to get to, or driving. This is another set of broadcasts here from MV for the Howie Shanks Bingo League. This league put together by Todd B, or inspired by Todd B, broadcast on channels such as Beatles Eternally's wonderful channel, or Steve Tate's wonderful channel, and I back them up with some broadcasting here from the UK. And we have a thriving community that's involved in this league. This is a draft league where we randomly were assigned years, and we had to pick from those years a player of our choice. We did 30 rounds in total, including 3 Negro League rounds, where Steve Tate put together some beautifully rendered photos and logos to go with this league. Beatles Eternally did some great logos for the official league logo, which actually is not the one you see here. It is one that I still struggle to put into my game. I'll figure it out. But that is the Howie Shanks League. We had a limit or a maximum picks of 5 Hall of Famers. So these are the teams as they stand at the moment. And here's the league table, because Steve played the game yesterday, and I think the Beatles did too. Hawaii leads the division, or the one division league, 8 wins to 3 losses, so there's 8-3. Detroit by Steve Tate is 7-3. Hawaii, I believe, is Lawrence's team. Jersey is a big clue, 6-4. Manchester is my team, 6-5 Red Bolts. Cleveland Wild Things is currently 5th, 6-6 record. The North Sound Lumberjacks are 5-5. And to give the full names of Hawaii Volcanoes, I believe it's the Detroit Coyotes. And Jersey are the Jersey Blue Claws. So some interesting names there so far. Then we have the Des Moines team, with one of my teams I do enjoy watching, the Des Moines Demons. Then we have Badlands at 4-6, just behind Des Moines. The Badlands Sentimentals, as you can see by that lovely logo designed by, I think it's Steve Tate. It could have been Beatles, Eternally. And these wonderful pictures, beautifully updated and colorized by Steve Tate. You also have a Mudville, which is Beatles team, Beatles Eternally's team. Surprisingly off to a slow start with Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb and who else have they got? They've got loads of great players. Pete Alexander, Pop Lloyd, Jimmy Fox, Miguel Cabrera. We'll have a little run through in a moment. Then you have Des Moines is managed by Rob. Badlands is managed by PQ Ribber. Mudville is managed by, as I said, Beatles Eternally. And propping up the league at the moment, are the Arlington Sharks, represented and managed by Robbie Wartburg. So, that's the league as it stands at the moment in terms of standings. Just a quick look at the leaders, a snapshot. Negro League, I believe this is, Valdez. Rogelio Valdez is proving to be a nice surprise. In real life, he's a 271 hitter. At the moment, he's 417. Good outfield arm, double play pivot of 6. Man who can play different positions. Juan Soto tends to do well. He's second, 395. Good start there from Shoeless Joe Jackson. Barry Bonds. Fred Dunlap, great pickup from Steve Tate. I think that's the second time Steve Tate's picked him up for Detroit. Somehow he landed him again. There will be no investigations into the familiarity of some of Steve's teams. Some players seem to have landed the right years again. Then there is Tucker, a man that I am very, very pleased with his performance. That's Fred Dunlap. Tommy Tucker from 1889 has been good at lead-off for me at the moment. And I can't wait till we can shake up the teams. I think when we get to the end of the month, we stop, shake up teams, send in BBXs, and go again. Frank Robinson doing very well for Des Moines. Rogers Hornsby doing well for the Sharks. Pop Lloyd and Wells make up the top 10. Willie Wells, great Negro Leaguer shortstop. And Pop Lloyd, another great Negro Leaguer shortstop. Pop Lloyd, known as the Black Honus Wagner. Or Honus Wagner is the white Pop Lloyd. So that's the batting. Brett Saberhagen leads in ERA. Nice to see that. Then there's my Zach Greinke, off to a good start. I think Greinke's 3-0 at the moment. And if you want to know what year Saberhagen's from, I think it's 89. There it is. Greinke's 2015. Zach Greinke. Then you got Mordecai Three Finger Brown doing very well. So there's some usual suspects in that. Don't know much about Russ Ford. But Russ Ford is pitching very well at the moment and tends to. Lefty Grove and Brown are leading the league in wins. Willie Mays and Perez from Arlington, Salvador Perez, lead the league in home runs alongside Mark McGuire. And this is Mark McGuire's 70 home run season from 1998. RBIs, Gehrig and McGuire and Robinson lead there. It's quite an even field in stolen bases. I think that's Cool Papa Bell. And Eric Davis along with Tommy Tucker. So that's a snapshot anyway of what's going on. A bit more detail in terms of batting. You can see the leaders there. Home runs, RBIs, stolen bases. Manchester, we are looking pretty with our aggressive running. Pitching, Saberhagen leads the league. You can see the lineup there. So, let's get down to business. So I've got Steve Tate's baton change, along with Beatles' baton changes. It's a bit like a relay. Just hoping you don't drop the button. I know Steve's last game was April the 22nd. No dates are missing, which is good. Good way of just double checking ourselves is to look at that. So I go to scheduled games. I'm going to do 2 games back to back. So let's see. There's no double headers. So here we are. We're on the 23rd of April. We're going to look for a game to play. Something that's exciting. 2 good matchups. I can see one already. And that one more likely to be Carlton versus Blue. 2 1970s pitchers going there. And that is where we will start. Are there any clashes? So I just get myself organized. My voice is ready. Bit more huskier earlier on in the morning, I've noticed. Okay. So here we go. We will sim Jersey and Mudville. So Mudville come into Jersey. And the winner is Mudville. They go to 5-7. Jersey drops to 6-5. Pete Alexander in there beats Frank Tanana. Looking at what's happened in that particular game, the MVP for the game was George Foster. It's 3 RBIs, 1 for 3. So that must have been a 3-run home run. Or could have been. Lloyd, 1 for 3. Fox, 2 for 3. So some of that offense from Mudville for Beatles Eternally coming through there. For Jersey, the usual suspects. Ichiro, 3 for 5. Cash, 4 for 5. Sid Gordon, 2 for 4. And a look at the scorecard itself. That one looks like it got away from Jersey. And though they mounted a rally in the 7th, it was all over. Mudville held on. Ty Cobb went 2 for 4. Bob Lloyd continues his fast start with 1 for 3. Look across to Jersey. They have top 4 in their lineup. Tend to doing very well at the moment, except for Willie Wells. Ed Bailey continues to be unproductive. Maris also. So it's interesting. I'm curious to see when do we switch. Can we switch our rosters around and lineups? Because I'm not touching mine, because that would be unfair. Because I have control. So does Beatles. So does Steve. We have to do it at the same time. I think. So here is Pete Alexander with 9 in his pitch. Gave up 14 hits, but got the win. And he beat Frank Tanana. So there you are. Interesting. Let's do Badlands, Hawaii. I'll go through the box scores later. Close one. Offense all over the place. Badlands dropped to 4 and 7. Hawaii continues to stretch out into a lead in the league. They're 9 and 3. So we go to the night games now. Deamons Arlington we're going to play. And North Sound Manchester, that's my team, the Red Bolts, versus John's North Sound. Toad Ramsey, who can pitch all night, all day, all week, all year, versus the junk-throwing Spud Chandler. Manchester at home. And Manchester crank out a beatdown, 17-2. That gladdens my heart really early in the day. And we have a quick butcher's hook. Look at this. It does change around my lineup somewhat, but it's more or less the same lineup. Tiredness comes in. Nice start there for Ted Williams. We were just talking about him yesterday. He seems to have broken out in this game. Schmidt came back. He didn't play last night, I noticed. But here he is again. 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs. And A-Rod continues to rake for the 9th position. So I notice it's moving DiGio around. And to be fair, that's about right. Now here are North Sound. There's an old Red Bolt himself, Sammy Sosa, who I know plays a good right field for me in Ebbets. But he's playing for the North Sound Lumberjacks. They dropped to 5 and 6. So suddenly Manchester bursting into life here. 7 and 5. I wouldn't say we were one of the favorites. I think that's Jersey and Hawaii and Detroit. As long as they don't mess up, they should get into the top 4. Here we go, chap. So here we go. Anyone specifically did well? The MVP was Spud Chandler. Chandler went. Let's see what he did for Manchester. Chandler picks up his first victory. 9 innings pitched, gave up only 2 earned runs. So Spud Chandler doing his business. Ramsey drops to 0 and 3 in a beatdown. So that now takes us on to the game of the day. Des Moines coming to Arlington. Rob versus Robbie. Okay, got that all set up. So, who's pitching? Who's playing? This is where I get a little bit confused. I didn't see who was pitching. So, let's have a look. Jesse Tannehill, no. Bullet Joe Rogan, no. I'm going to have to check this myself. Who is to pitch? 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 So, lineup. Steve Carlton, yes, that was right. That was Steve Carlton, and he's a lefty. And Vida Blue. Okay, so that makes sense. So now I've got to load up a lefty lineup for Sharks. They are missing a DH, so computer versus lefty. Right, your opponent. And Des Moines. So for some reason it's not saving their lineup that looks like their lineup. And there's the Sharks. So let's see if I can help them a little bit. Perez at catcher, that's fine. Perez is playing. At first baseman versus a lefty should be Orr. Yes, that's correct. Second baseman versus lefty, that's already in the lineup, is Rogers Hornsby. At third base against a lefty is Williams. That is correct. At shortstop versus a lefty, Honus Wagner. That is correct. I don't see Wagner in the lineup. So that was easy. So I'm sure Robbie won't mind me doing that for him. There's Honus. And a left field, Hank Greenberg. Yep. Center field, Benny Koff. Okay, so he's in right field today. Let's see why. Right field, Koff. See, there's the error in Robbie's lineup, I think. But I'll let Robbie fix that because he has got Vince Coleman playing center field, so that's fine with Koff at right. And let's just move Wagner up a touch. Yeah. Wagner deserves to play a little higher. That's, wow. Ooh. Ooh, this is tough. Koff. I don't want to mess around with it too much, but Wagner doesn't. He's not going to bat ninth, is he? He's probably going to bat this. Well, probably put him second, actually. So, there you go, Robbie. Robbie Wartburg, you're set. You need to save your lineup, fix your depth chart, I would say. And the opponent, that looks familiar to me because I know this team so well now. I've watched them a few times. That looks like the regular lineup for Des Moines. Though he doesn't have it saved, his depth chart is pretty good. So, I think there's an option anyway where you can get it to follow the depth chart. I saw that yesterday on Steve's broadcast. So if you just press OK, we are ready to rock. We already know the pitcher here is going to be Vida Blue. So here we go. Good day, World's Worst Gamer. Good morning, I should say. You know, I don't know what you're in Canada, right? So you are up and running. You're all set to go. Welcome to Rangers Park for tonight's game between Des Moines and Arlington. Steve Carlton takes the mound for Des Moines. He's made 2 starts on the year and is 0-1 with an ERA of 4.20. This is his first start against Arlington. He'll be opposed by another 1970s icon, Vida Blue, for Arlington. He's made 1 start on the year and is 0-1 with an ERA of 4.50. His first start against Des Moines. Arlington's second baseman Rogers Hornsby is riding an 11-game hitting streak. So here at Arlington, in Rangers ballpark from 2011, it is 69 degrees with a wind speed of 3 miles per hour. In from center field. Play ball. So welcome World's Worst Gamer, and welcome any other visitors from around the world. Sound like a boxing match. This is MV broadcasting from Cardiff. It's my day off today. I've now switched to Fridays off. And actually, when you wake up on a Friday and got a day off, it feels like Saturday morning. So I'm a happy man. Here we go. Let's have a look at the Arlington Sharks as they take the field. Behind the plate is Salvador Perez, a 7 catch with a 9 arm. First base is a 19th century Dave Orr, a 10 fielder. Second base, Rogers Hornsby, a second base of only 4. Shortstop is Honus Wagner, so 2 iconic middle infielders here for the Sharks, who are 3 and 9. At left field is Jimmy Williams, not the best defense, at third. In left field is a late 30s or 1930s, early 40s icon, Hank Greenberg. In center field are one of those pesky Cardinals from the 1980s, the very swift Vince Coleman, with an 8 arm, surprisingly. And in right field, a player I like watching in these action PC games, Benny Koff, with a 9 rating. I've seen Benny Koff play a few times. It's surprising to me how the Sharks have not done better, but it is an all-star league, I guess. Someone's going to be bottom. And it happens to be Robbie Wartburg's team. But with Honus Wagner, Rogers Hornsby, Hank Greenberg, good, excellent catcher, you expect to do well. Anyway, Vida Blue will take the mound. This is a 1976 by Vida Blue, not the 1972 version, which I'm led to believe is the better Vida Blue. Vida Blue has an 8 hold rating and a 5 clutch rating. Good fastball, a plus ground ball pitcher. So far has had just the 1 start, so we haven't seen the best of Vida yet. Going for his first win against Steve Carlton. So stepping up to the plate, coming in from the right-hand side, is third baseman Harlan Clift. Clift batting 195 on the season so far. So Vida Blue will go into his motion. Here is the 0-1 count. So here is the 0-2 count from Vida Blue. Clift waits. Perez puts a sign down. Here comes Blue. Here's the 0-2. Here's a fastball, and it's popped up to third, and Jimmy Williams has it. No, he doesn't. He dropped it. Oh my, what a way for the Sharks to open up at home here. An error by Jimmy Williams. The ball was high in the air. He looked up, punched his glove. The ball came down, and Jimmy dropped it. So Harlan Clift is on first. That brings up the clutch, Edgar Renteria. Batting 190, coming in from the right side. Renteria plays shortstop for Des Moines. Here's Blue with 0-2 count. And Renteria lines a single to third. So basic, Clift will get to second. Nobody out, courtesy of a drop ball by Jimmy Williams. 2 men on here for Des Moines Demons. Bring up Todd Hilton. From the left-hand side, first baseman Todd Hilton. 316 hitter. Blue will get ready. He is set. Hilton is ready. Here is the 1-2 for Vida Blue. And a deep fly ball to center field. Coleman goes back. And he has it. And Clift will hold at second. Here is Frank Robinson stepping in now. 2 men on. 1 out for Des Moines here in the top of the first inning. Frank Robinson steps in. Infield is normal. Clift at second, Renteria waits. Here is the 1-2 for Vida Blue. That one's hit up to center by Robinson, and Coleman will come for it. And the bases are now loaded full of Des Moines Demons. So full bases loaded here. As Blue struggles early. Stanton will check in. From the right-hand side, batting 267. Blue is ready. Perez is ready. Bases loaded. Here's the 1-2 to Giancarlo Stanton. Williams has it sure-handedly this time. Throws across to Hornsby. They get just a 1. But a run will score. 1-0. Des Moines. So Giancarlo Stanton hit it on the ground to third. Williams had it through to second. But Cliff did score. Brings up Andrew Jones now from the right-hand side. Center fielder Andrew Jones off to a slow start, batting 135. Blue now gets into his motion. Here is the 1-0 count to Jones. And Jones swings. Sharp grounded to third. Williams to Hornsby. They get another. No, they don't. That retires the side. 1 hit, 2 hits. 1 run, 2 hits. One run, 2 hits, 1 error. After 1.5 inning or 1/2 an inning, Des Moines take a 1-0 lead. And here comes up the very interesting Arlington lineup. Let's take a look at Des Moines in the field. A very strong defensive team. Behind the plate is Ray Schalk. First base is Todd Helton. Second base is Bobby Grich. At short is Edgar Renteria. At third base is Harlan Clift. All of those are 9s. 10 Helton, 10 Grich. Renteria is a 10. Clift is a 9. Excellent infield. And the outfield is Frank Robinson. Andrew Jones in center field. Robinson in left field. And in right field, modern day player Giancarlo Stanton. Steve Carlton takes the mound. Veteran player. This is a 1972 Steve Carlton. In real life, he went 27-10 with a 1.97 ERA. Got a good fastball, or a strong fastball, I should say, not good. He's a fastball pitcher. Let's look out for some strikeouts. Leading off for the Sharks, Benny Koff, the right fielder. And here we go. Here is the 2-2 count from Carlton. And that's line to Bobby Grich, 1 away. Stepping into the plate now is a shortstop, Honus Wagner, batting 286 so far. Here's the 0-2 from Carlton. Wagner hits it high to left field. Robinson comes in though and gloves it. That's 2 out. Stepping in is the second baseman from the right-hand side, Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby currently on an 11-game hitting streak. Carlton is ready. Here's the 0-2, and he struck him out. So no runs, no hits, no errors. After 1 inning, Des Moines 1, Arlington nothing. Hello to all of those of you that will join this broadcast later on today when you come to recap. It's an early morning broadcast here from MV in Cardiff. Stepping in now is George Burns, batting 111 for Des Moines. Here's the 0-1 from Vida Blue. Curveball, and that is hit into center field. Burns will round first and chug into second base. So a double. A dive there to second base by Burns. Coleman had it, was a bit too slow, and Burns is in at second. He stands up and dusts himself down. Sandwich in between Rogers Hornsby and Wagner. Burns wants to start his conversation with Hornsby, but Hornsby turns his back on him and goes back to his position. Hornsby, not a popular man. So here we go. Here's Bobby Grich looking to drive in a run for Des Moines. Nobody out here. Top of the second inning. Blue will go into his motion. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball between first and second. Hornsby moves to his left, fields it, tosses it to first, and there's the first out. But Burns, with the soiled uniform, chugs into third. So runner here on the verge of scoring here. There is Ray Shock. Blue goes into his motion, 2-0. And Shock swings straight to Orr. Orr has it on the ground ball, but the run will score. Burns is coming home, and Des Moines take a 2-0 lead. Blue shrugs his shoulders here. It's off to not the greatest start. He's throwing strikes, but he's giving up 2 runs. Here's Harlan Clift. Here's the 1-1 to Harlan. Grounded to Orr at first. Orr back. Doesn't get it. It went under his glove. And an error in Orr. So Harlan Clift will go to first on the error by Dave Orr. Bringing up to the plate now, Edgar Renteria. Renteria lined a single over third in the first inning. He steps into the batter's box. Blue looks in to get his signs from Perez. Runner on first. Here's the 2-2 for Vida. That's hit into the hole by Renteria. And there's Koff to cut it off. And Renteria is going to round first. Clift to third. Renteria safe at second. Whenever I see Edgar Renteria, I'm surprised he's only batting 209. When I've seen him live, he's come alive. He's been fantastic. So that's going to be interesting to see. Good day to World's Worst Gamer, who's in the ballpark somewhere. And good day to anyone else who drops in and out of this broadcast. As I know it's early in North America, but in Asia it is nighttime or a late afternoon, and in Australia it's very late. It's nighttime, midnight. Two out here, and stepping in is Todd Helton. Runners on second and third. Here's the 1-0 and a frozen rope to right field for Helton. Is he going for 2? No. Clift comes home and Clift is safe, but Renteria went for a head first slide to make it another run, and he's out. So the throw came in from Kauf. Helton got into second base, and Renteria went for another run after Clift had scored, and he was out. Tagged heavily there by Perez. Good play by Perez. Good fielding there. Score is now 3-0. So this is the start of the bottom of the second inning. Dave Orr at the plate for the Sharks, already behind. Split finger, and there is a base hit to right field. Stanton will pick it up and throw down. Back to Gritch, but Orr is on first. See if Robbie Wartburg's team can get going with Hank Greenberg. Greenberg only batting 240. Runner on first. Carlton keeps an eye on him. Here's the first pitch from Carlton, and a low. It's a strike. Shock threw it to second. It got past Gritch, and Orr ends up at third. That's an error on Ray Shock. So Shock got the strike, threw it to catch Orr, missed it, went past Gritch, and Orr is at third. So all of a sudden, the Sharks have been a man ready to score. Greenberg has had 3 home runs on the season so far, batting 240. The count is still 0-1 here from Carlton. Greenberg swings. Deep fly ball. Jones going back, and he makes the catch. But Dave Orr will score. So the Sharks are on the board. That brings up Jimmy Williams to the plate, batting 244 from the right. Third baseman Jimmy Williams coming from the right-hand side, batting 244. 1 home run and 11 RBIs. 1 out here. The bottom of the second. It's the 1-2 from Carlton. Williams hits a ground ball to second. Gritch fires to first, but not in time. Jimmy Williams safe at first. Brings up Salvador Perez, who's got some power. One man out. Bottom of the second inning. Sharks trail 3-1. Here's Carlton. First pitch, and that's a high throw. Gritch pulls it down. Gritch on the attack. And Williams is out, and a close call. So Shock made up for the error in the previous inning, and guns down Jimmy Williams. And that's played by Gritch. 2 out now. Carlton shakes that one off. Here's the 0-1. Slow roller to third. Renteria has it. Perez going for the single, and he's out. So 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error after 2 complete. Des Moines 3, Arlington 1. Little early morning baseball here, courtesy of the time difference in the UK. It is currently 1:03 here. Many of my North American pals are getting up, going to breakfast, at work, settling down, hopefully with a nice cup of coffee, if they're working from the office, or wherever they may be. Some may still be snoozing in bed. Get up, Robbie Wartburg, your team is playing. Here we go. Frank Robinson steps in now, batting .366. He'll lead off. The top of the third. Stanton on deck. Here's the 1-2 from Blue. Breaking ball, and Frank Robinson strikes out. That's 1 away. Here is Giancarlo Stanton. And here's the 1-2 to Stanton. And he strikes out. So 2 down from Vida, who suddenly found a quick rhythm. In steps Andrew Jones. Jones ground to the third in the first inning. Jones waits. Here's the 0-2. Base hit up the middle for Andrew Jones. Coleman will grab it, so Jones is on. So Sharks still holding on to that 3. Still trying to stay in the game. Des Moines trying to pad their 3-1 lead together at the top of the third inning. Jones on first, but here is George Burns batting .130, but he's got a 35% chance of a hit. He doubled and scored in his last trip. Runner on first. Here's the 0-2 from Blue. Back up the mound. Vida collects it. And he goes to first, and Burns is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 2.5 innings. Des Moines 3, Arlington 1. Des Moines looking to get to 500. Sharks just trying to get back to some respectability already early in this season. Coming in from the left-hand side is William Fisher. Fisher will lead off. Coleman is on deck. Here's Carlton with the 1-1. Fastball. Fisher hits it on the ground to the pitcher. Carlton bobbled it and cannot make the play. Fisher is safe. That brings up Vince Coleman. Here we are in April the 23rd night game. One of 2 night games tonight. So Coleman comes in. Runner on first. Here's the 1-2 from Steve Carlton. Fastball go the outside corner, 1 away. Steve Carlton, one of the better pitchers in the league. Here is Benny Koff to the plate for Arlington, batting .222 on the year, with a home run and 5 runs batted in. Man on first. Here's the 1-2 from Carlton. Clift comes in, makes a great play over to Gritch. Gritch over to Hilton. They get 1, but Koff will beat the relay from second. Still 2 men on. 2 men out. Koff at first. Arlington trying to get back in the ball game. There is the brilliant Honus Wagner. Williams versus Carlton. Runner on first. First pitch from Carlton. It looks like a changeup, and Kauf is going for second. It's a shock fires down to second, and a steal for Benny Kauf. So Calf has made his way to second in scoring position. Wagner steps back into the box. Carlton checks the runner. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball to short. Great play again by Renteria. And he throws over to first. Great dive by Edgar Renteria. Short. He threw to first. Out. No runs, no hits, 1 error after 3 complete. Des Moines flashing their defensive prowess 3. Arlington 1. Stepping up now to the top of the 4th inning for Des Moines is Bobby Grich. Grich grounded in the second. And here is the 3-1 now from Vida Blue. And that's outside. And Grich will go to first. Bringing up Ray Schock. Grich at first. Schock to face Blue. Runner on first. Here's the fastball. Schock puts out a bunt. And Blue charges it. And he's only plays at first, which he easily gets. But Grich moves to second. So a bit of small ball here from Des Moines. Brings up Harlan Clift. Clift to face Blue. He's only batting 125 and runners in scoring position. Here's the 0-2 from Vida. Struck him out on a bad pitch. Clift will sit down. That's 2 away. Vida Blue season 1976. He went 18-13 with a 2.35 ERA. But a decent whip of 1.109. Yes, world's worst gamer, I have to agree. It is an error fest. So here's Edgar Renteria. Like I said, every time I see Edgar, he does play well. 2 for 2 on the day. Runner on second. Blue toes the rubber. Here's the 3-1 from Vida. And he lost him. High and outside that was. So Grich and Renteria are now still on base. Bringing up Todd Helton. 325, no home runs, 6 RBIs on the season. Sharks trying to maintain Des Moines Devils, or Demons. Robinson's up next if he reaches. Here's the 1-1 to Helton. Grounded to Wagner. Wagner fires it to second, 3 away. No runs, no hits, no errors. And that brings up Rogers Hornsby for Arlington on an 11-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 1 today, though. Struck out in the first. Carlton on the mound still. Here's the 0-2 from Steve Carlton. Struck him out. So Hornsby is up. Hornsby's out. So his hitting streak is on the line. Brings up Dave Orr, having a good season so far. Batting .362, but it's still early. Orr singled and scored in the second. Here's Carlton with the 1-1 and a base hit between third and short. Robinson will pick it up and throw it back in. So Arlington have a runner with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brings up Hank Greenberg. Man on first. Here's the 0-1 to Greenberg. Grounded between third and short. Renteria to Grich. Grich to Helton. Call it 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 4 complete. Des Moines 3, Arlington 1. Go to the top of the 5th inning now. And Frank Robinson will step in. Another player I've seen do very well. And Blue with the 0-1. Robinson swings. Hard ground ball up the middle. Base hit for Frank Robinson. This is 1962. Frank Robinson. The other night, I saw him hit a walk-off 3-run home run in a tight ball game versus the Detroit Coyotes. And that was against Billy Wagner. What a dramatic game that was. Here we go. It's Giancarlo Stanton on the plate. Vida still on the mound. Runner on first. Here's the 1-2 from Blue. Fastball driven deep towards right field, but Calf measures it. He gets under it and he gloves it. So Robinson will trot back to first. 1 away for Des Moines here, top of the 5th inning. Here's Andrew Jones. And Blue looks at him, man on first. Blue checks first. Here's the 2-1. There goes Robinson. Jones Hits a deep fly ball to left center field. Greenberg going back. And he jumps and he can't get it. It's off the wall. Robinson motors around third, and Robinson will score on a double to hit the wall by Andrew Jones. 4-1 Des Moines, and Shock's really looking poor early season. Stepping in is George Burns to face Blue. 4-1 Des Moines lead. Here's the 0-1, and a line drive down the first base line. Fair ball. Burns rounds first. He's going for 2. And Jones will score. So Des Moines go up 5-1 now. And here's Bobby Grich. Hey, Ken Castro. Yes, I was saying about everybody. Welcome, Ken. I was saying to worlds and to everyone around the world, good morning. Or good night if you're in Australia. This is an early morning broadcast or early afternoon broadcast from MV Cardiff. So welcome, Ken. You've joined us as the Arlington Sharks, led by Robbie Wartburg, are trailing once again. They've got a 3-9 record. If you're not careful, they're going to go to 3-10. Des Moines looking to go back to 500. They've got a really good defensive team. A well-constructed team by Rob. There's Viner Blue from 92 pitches already. Grich steps in. He drew a walk in the fourth, man on second. Here's the pitch from Vida Blue. And that payoff pitch there, the 3-2 count, he walked him. Blue with 3 walks today. He's had 3 strikeouts. That brings up Ray Schock. Schock to face Blue. Here's the 0-2. Grounded towards Wagner at short. Wagner over to Hornsby, but they can only turn 1. He threw to first, but Schock had the wheels to get that first. So, still 5-1. Burns at third. Schock at first, and it brings up Harlan Clift, who is the normal leadoff hitter. A little early morning baseball for my North American friends. Here's the 1-2 for Blue. Struck him out. So Harlan Clift continues his struggles. So here we go. As Ken asks World's Worst Gamer, a prodigious player of action, what games he's got to play today. So at the bottom of the 5th inning, Arlington looking to peg this lead back. Perez is on the deck. Carlton with the 1-1. He hits on the ground ball back to the mound, fielded by Carlton, who fires it to first. 1 away. Steve Carlton looking good here. He's given up only 3 hits. But here's Salvador Perez, who's got some power in his bat. Batting .239. Here's the 1-2, and he clubs this one. And just as I called it, a well-hit fly ball down the left field line. Robinson looks up and wishes he was on that airplane as it jets out of Arlington to see all those stewardesses. Goodbye. That one went a mile. It went 378 feet. Salvador Perez showing that excellent bat. So Arlington have a glimmer of hope here in the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th. And that brings up William Fisher, batting .282. Carlton is set. Here's the 1-0. It's slowly to Clift. Clift gloves it over to first. Got him. So, score is 5-2. Arlington trying to chip away here. Here comes a speedy center fielder, Vince Coleman, who looks like this is his second at bat of the season. Coleman struck out in the 3rd. Here's the 1-2, and he strikes out in the 5th. Nice pitch there from Steve Carlton. And that starts the top of the 6th inning. Des Moines 5, Arlington 1, because they scored a run on 1 hit and no errors after 5. So Salvador Perez, a glimmer of hope. Vida Blue stays on the mound for Arlington. Here's Renteria now, leading off. 2 for 2 today. Drew a walk the last time up. He hits it down to third. Williams picks it up. Over to Orr. 1 away. Bobby Catalano. Good day, young lady. Good day. Welcome. It's good morning to all y'all. It's good afternoon to me here in Cardiff on a lovely day off. A very sunny Cardiff with nice blue skies and some wispy white clouds. When I got up this morning, I thought it was Saturday. So here we go. Here's Todd Helton. 1 for 2 today. Here's the 1-2 from Blue. And it's cut to left center field. Greenberg will pick it up. But Todd Helton has a double. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And brings up the dangerous Frank Robinson. 2 for 3 today. He struck out in the 3rd and he singled in the 5th. Stanton is waiting to hit. But they're not going to pitch to Frank Robinson. They're going to go for Giancarlo Stanton. Going for the double play. So Robbie Wartburg calling the shots on the dugout. Wants a double play. Vida Blue already up to 118 pitches. Stanton now at bat. He's 0 for 3 today. Batting 2-3-1 but has power. He flied out in the 5th. They make a shift for Stanton. Here comes the pitch. Change up. And a line shot to 3rd. Stanton will get to 1st. Helton's coming home. Base hit, so that backfired on Arlington. Robbie Wartburg at the top of his dugout. Hands on his hips. Not impressed. Rob, on the other hand, in the other dugout, sits back casually as if nothing dangerous is happening out there. Nothing untoward. Des Moines now leads 6-2. Andrew Jones steps in. Batting 175 on the season. Jones grounded to 3rd in the 1st and he knocked in a run with a double and scored in the 5th. Here's a 2-0 to Jones. Pops it up in the air and Honus Wagner pumps his glove and takes the put out at short. Honus Wagner playing Keystone with Rogers Hornsby. Burns steps in now, batting 146. 2 out. Here's the 0-2 from Blue and a line drive up the middle. Coleman has it. Robinson thinking about coming around 3rd. He gets there and Robinson gets home and Stanton dives into 3rd. So another run will score. 7-2 Des Moines. As I said, I'm a great fan of Des Moines. Just like the way they've been built. Hope your recovery is doing well, Ken. It does look like a long season here in Texas. He's getting a Texas-sized beating from Des Moines. Someone said that in the chat yesterday, and I really liked that one, so I've nicked it. Here's Bobby Grich, batting 194 for Des Moines. Top of the 6th inning, looking trouble for Vida Blue. Perez goes out to check on him, always a bad sign. Grich steps in against Blue, hitting 194 in the year. Home run and 5 RBIs belly in. Here's a 2-2. That's hit up the middle. Wagner will get it over to Orr. And that is, thankfully for Arlington, the end of the inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors on that inning. After 5.5 innings, Des Moines 7, Arlington 2. As Ken Castro says, it's going to be a long, very long season for Betty Koff. It won't be long before they're saying, is Arlington still in the league? I am pretty confident that when Robbie returns to his GM duties, he will fix this great lineup. He has actually got Rogers Hornsby, Honus Wagner, Greenberg, Perez. He's got some players. So here we go, the bottom of the 6th inning. Steve Carlton now has pitched 65 pitches so far. He's pitched 5 innings, given up 4 hits, and has 4 strikeouts. 1972, Steve Carlton. Benny Cobb steps in. Carlton gets the sign. Here's the 2-2. Curveball. Ground ball up the middle. Renteria to his left. Has it. And Helton has it at first for the out. 1 away. Wagner now batting. Grounds to short his last trip. Here's the windup from Steve Carlton. Wagner looking to bunt. And playing a little dead ball. Clift will let it roll, and it's a foul ball. So Wagner will step out of the box, take some signs from the erstwhile Robbie Wartburg. He will step back in. Here's the 0-2 from Carlton, and a base hit for Honus Wagner. So Wagner will go to first. Brings up his infield partner, Rogers Hornsby, trying to preserve his 11-game hitting streak. Runner on first. Carlton watches the runner. Here's the 0-2 from Carlton. Fastball ripped, but it's a broken bat. And Helton has it. Over to second. Back to first, not in time. Hornsby beat the relay, but Wagner is out. 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Carlton going quite nicely in the ball game. Looking to get a win here for Des Moines to bring them back to 500. Arlington just keep chipping away at that basement. Dave Orr at the plate. Maybe Ken can tell us about Dave Orr. He hits .556 against lefties. 2 for 2 in this ball game. Man on first. And there's a line drive out to left field. And Dave Orr has some hope for Arlington here. 343-foot home run for Dave Orr. 7-4 Des Moines Sharks pulling back slowly but surely. I was just asking how we would do that. Yeah, nice one, Ken. Lovely to see you coming back. Lovely to see you. Back in the gym. Well, Ken, I tell you what, you're putting me to shame. Because the gym and I are not good friends, and I really do need to look after myself. Sitting here doing this type of work for the last, 3 years? Since the pandemic, working from home. As much as it has its advantages, it's really bad in other areas. Especially exercise. Here we go. Greenberg will step in to the plate. Williams is on deck if he can get on. Here's the first pitch from Carlton. High fly ball to left field, but it will stay in the park. Robinson has it this time. So Arlington is showing signs of life, and it's now telling me that Viner Blue may be out of gas. What to do for Robbie? What to do for Robbie? Do I make an intervention? He is definitely tired. He hasn't gone red yet, so when he goes red, I'll pull him. If this AI doesn't. Ray Schock steps in to lead off. Did he? Here's the 1-1. Ground up the middle. Wagner has it. Over to Orr. Got him. Now, blue should turn red. Excuse the pun. Harlan Cliff steps in 0 for 4. Brent Herrera is on deck. Here's a 2-0. High fly ball to right field. Koff going back. And we should have lifted Vida Blue. That one is gone. Koff could only look up and watch that plane take off. That was upper deck, 339-foot home run. Now Vida is red now. So we go to the bullpen. This is what you call closing the barn door after the horse has bolted. So let's see who he's got. Not much. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Look at his bullpen. It's so. We're going to have to bring in not Eric Gagne. Wow, it really is short here. Oh my goodness. This is Shockingly bad. So Robbie Warburg, a little indecisive. He doesn't know who to bring in. Because his starters, he's got a very thin staff. That's the problem. Robbie, you need some pitchers, man. I've got a Kurt Schilling on the trade block if you want him. Any suggestions from the crowd? So, while we wait for the bullpen to sort itself out, Kane Castro, after seeing that Orr home run, just before the home run, I was asking about Orr. Orr is considered one of the best first basemen of the 19th century. Curiously, and if you believe the Star on his WAR season, WAR seems low for a lifetime 342 hitter. Lifetime 342? Well, Ken, I've discovered Tommy Tucker. And Steve is a little bit jealous, I think. As the previous sim, Jack Glasscock was the 19th century. Bill Darlin was a 19th century player. I'm a big fan of Chick Stahl. So, Ken, I'm definitely getting into the 19th century. Could you also tell me a little bit about Cy Morgan? Because I have him in my staff. I saw him pitch a relief last night, and he was pretty good. Yet in my sims, not so much. Here we go. So I didn't even know who to bring in here. I am stuck. I'm going to bring in, let's say starters. Joe Horlin, one of my favorites. Stub Weedman. But who do you bring in? Man, this is tough. There's no point wasting someone, is there? So I don't even know how to read this street. I'm going to bring in Vern Law. Robbie, really need to sort out your stuff, man. Here's Edgar Renteria at the plate. New pitcher is Vern Law. Renteria steps in. He's batting 143 against righties. Here's the 0-1. Grounder between first and second. Hornsby to his left, plays it, throws it to first. Throw is upstairs, and Orr leapt and could not get it, so Renteria is safe at first. Hornsby was a little casual there when he played that ball. Threw it above the head of Dave Orr, and that's an error. So Arlington really suffering here. Todd Helton will come to the plate. Score is an 8-4. Helton drove in a run in the single in the second, grounded to short in the fourth, doubled and scored in the sixth. Man on first. Lower looks to first. First pitch to Helton. Renteria's going. Got a good jump. And no throw from Salvador Perez. Renteria is at second. Thank you, Wells. Yeah, Vern Law was the one. Sounds like he had a stroke at Dave Orr. Well, interesting. I'll look him up. So Renteria at second. Helton now 2 for 4. Man on second. 0-1 from Vern Law. Change up. Drill towards short. Wagner has it. And a line out, so that's the end of Helton. Bringing up the dangerous Frank Robinson. I've seen Frank Robinson hit a fantastic home run recently. Literally had me out of my seat. I think Rob, the manager, was out of his seat. It was a dramatic home run. Here we go. Vern Law pitching. In relief. Robinson waits. Here's the 1-0 from Law. Robinson cuts it. Base hit between third and short. Greenberg will come round and Renteria will score. 9-4. This Texas size beating continues. Leading up to Giancarlo Stanton stepping in. Number 27 on his back. Runner on first. 2 balls, no strikes. Ground ball down the third baseline. Jimmy Williams to Hornsby. Hornsby cannot turn the double play. It doesn't need to because it's just the one they needed. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. After 6.5, Des Moines 9, Arlington 4. Well, welcome back to the ball game. Yes, a Texas science beating going on here in Arlington. There was a flicker of life, but they'll need a bit more to get some life out of this Arlington lineup at the moment. Steve Carlton has something to do with it. He's pitched masterfully today as we go into the bottom of the seventh inning. Carlton's pitched 6 innings pitched, 6 hits. He's given no walks and struck out 4. Good control here from Steve Carlton. I'd probably put the hex on him now. Here's Jimmy Williams. The count is 1-1. A ball to right field by Williams. But Stanton has that in right field. This wonderfully constructed Des Moines team will be definitely a spoiler team. One I'm definitely rooting for. To spoil the likes of Steve Tate's team. And Big Clue's team. And Hawaii's team. And all the other teams except the mighty Red Bolts. Here we go. Salvador Perez is here. Hit a solo home run off Carlton in the 5th. The shift is on for Perez. Carlton has a sign. Here's the 1-0. He kicks and throws. Renteria has it over to Helton. Got him. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. William Fisher, a name I only heard of today. He's the catcher for the Sharks. He is coming from the year 1915. Coming in from the left-hand side as DH. Here's the payoff pitch from Carlton. And that's line down the left field line. Good hit there. It looks like he's going to get a double. Robinson picks it up and not in time for Fisher. With a bit of hope again. That brings up Vince Coleman. Nothing here. Twice a strikeout victim. Kalfa's on deck if he gets a man on second. Here's the 3-0. Lost him. Vince Coleman will trot down to first base. Carlton maybe getting a little bit tired. Kalf is there. Coming in from the left-hand side. Right fielder Benny Kalf. 214 hitter so far on the season. But the season he's coming from is the 1914 season. Benny Kalf, a renowned right fielder with a strong arm and a good bat with 370 average in that season. Carlton waits. Kalf is ready. Here's the runners on first and second. Here's the 2-0 from Carlton. Fastball, and Benny swings hard ground to Clift. Clift across the diamond to Helton. Got him. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 7 here in Arlington. Des Moines putting the monster mash down on Arlington 4. 9-4 by Des Moines. Well, Vern Law I've heard of. I don't know much about him. Beatles, can you be able to tell me? Here's Andrew Jones now stepping in, batting only a paltry 171 and 125 against righties. Low with the 2-1. Jones smashes it high in the air. Greenberg lopes over to his right and catches that at the track. 1 away. Here's George Burns, the DH. Rich is on deck. And here's the 1-1 deep fly ball down the left field line. This one's going. See you later. George Burns has liftoff, and Greenberg can look up and see that jet fly out of the stadium. Wow. First home run for Burns. That one measured 351 feet. That one flew 2,000 miles out of here. What's that Rolling Stones song? Light Years from Home, that's it. Beggar's Banquet album. That one took off and was out of here. So, Vern Law, not looking good all of a sudden. Score is 10-4. Shock is on deck, Rich at the plate. And Law loses him, and that's 3-2 lost there. He lost him. Rich is on first. 1 out here. 10-4 Des Moines lead over the Sharks. Ray Shock up at the plate, not known as a big hitter. Clift is on deck. 0-2 to Shock. Here's a deep fly ball to right field. Koff will keep this one in. That aircraft not taking off. 2 away. Ken was laughing at what I said earlier. And I think World's Worst Gamer was laughing earlier when I said, this is a Texas-sized beating. That is not an original saying by me. That's from someone in the chat yesterday in relation to Arlington. Poor Robbie. Here's Harlan Cliff now, 1 for 5. Cliff digs in against Law. Run around first. Law checks first. Here's a 2-2 for Vern. Struck him out. He's gone. That brings in Honus Wagner, the very coveted Honus Wagner. I know Beatles Eternal is famous favourite player, I believe. One he coveted very much. Honus Wagner, known as the White Pop Lloyd. And Beatles, to his delight, drafted Pop Lloyd, known as the Black Honus Wagner. So both parties were happy. Here we go. Carlton with the 3-1, and Wagner swings on cue. Goodbye, good night, sweet prince. Honus Wagner on cue sends this out of here to some more flickering to life of Arlington. They keep threatening to flicker. They're not flickering, they threaten to flicker. 10-5 Des Moines. Des Moines 10, Sharks 5. We've seen some home runs today. Maybe it's time for Carlton to get out of here. Hornsby now trying to maintain his 11 games hitting streak. Can he do it? He steps in, 0 for 3 today. Carlton with the 1-1 fastball and a deep fly ball down the left field line. This could go. This might go. It does. 12-game hitting streak for Hornsby, but not only that, another run for the Sharks. So to all those, the Lone Star State, I do apologize because your Sharks have now flickered into life. No more flickering. They have flickered. As someone's now saying Texas toast. Well, we better hold our words because here they come. And it's Dave Orr, now that I know he's a dangerous player. He is 3 for 3 today. Carlton struggling all of a sudden. Interesting ball game. He singled and scored in the second. He hit a 2-run homer in the sixth. But he pops up to second this time round. And Bobby Gritch has it. So, interesting ball game all of a sudden. Here's Hank Greenwood. They do have the horses. It's the pitching they don't have. Williams is on deck. Here's the 0-2 from Carlton. Renteria has it over to Helton. And that looked like it could have been called safe. Robbie Wartburg is out of the dugout arguing with the umpire. Not a heated display there by Robbie. He just wanted to make his point. And he finally trots back into the dugout. Showing a bit of fire there, Robbie Wartburg. On the other dugout, Rob sits impassively, rubbing his chin. Does he take Carlton out? Here's Jimmy Williams. Here's the 2-1 to Jimmy. A screamer at the third base line. That's into right field. Here come Arlington again. Williams will slide into second. Life maintained here in Arlington. Stand-up double for Jimmy Williams. Stepping into it now is Salvador Perez. He steps in, hitting 143 with 2 out and runners in scoring position. Runner on second. Carlton has a sign. Here's the 1-1. Grounded to Cliff. Clipped across the diamond to Helton. Got him. So 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Arlington coming back into the ballgame after 8 complete. Des Moines still have a commanding lead, 10-6. Vern Law trying to hold them down here, as Edgar Renteria will lead off the top of the 9th inning. Law has a side. Here's the 1-1. Renteria rips it to Wagner. Wagner over to Orr. Got him. brings up Todd Helton, 2 for 5. And that's sounds good. Deep fly ball in right field. This one is gone. That ball is Texas toast, as Bobby Catalano adds in something into my vocabulary. Thank you, Bobby. Welcome to everyone joining in or going to work or settling down at home. An early broadcast from the UK here. It's MV on the mic with my ever-changing accent. And that one is another block. See, there are quite a few home runs today, actually. I will go back and have a look at the box score. In fact, Beatles showed this wonderful little technique. If I hover my mouse over the scoreboard... Oh. How come Beatles can do it and I can't? There. I saw Beatles hover his mouse over the scoreboard, and it showed me all kinds of stats. Maybe I don't have the latest update. I need to check that. Anyway, one out here for Des Moines as they try and pad their lead, even more so. Frank Robinson with 3 hits. A deep fly ball down the right field line. Calf has it. And that one is out, and that's out. So now it brings up Giancarlo Stanton, 1 for 5. Here's the 1-1. Stanton, he got a hold of this one. Back. This one is more Texas toast. Giancarlo Stanton elevated that ball. Home run number 4 in the season, and the Texas-sized beatdown. It's not even a beating, it's a beatdown. Continues. Fran Law taking the lumps this time. Wow. 2 out, top of the 9th inning. The hopes of Arlington getting back into this ball game are slim and none. And Slim is out of town. Forgive my partisan broadcasting here. And Jones, oh my gosh. Jones sends another one out of here. Oh my word. Good Lord. Jones blasts another back-to-back home runs here for the Des Moines Demons. 13-6. Wow. The beatdown continues, Wells. Yes. Thank you, Wells, for that, for the scoreboard info. I'll check that next time. Thank you for that. What another home run. Oh, this is a Texas-sized beatdown, as I keep saying. Wow. Van Law, what have you done? Van Law has given up 4 home runs in just over 2 innings. Burns steps in. Gritch is up next. Burns needs a triple, and it's hit over to Williams over to Orr, and that's the end of a horrific inning. 3 runs, 3 hits given up, no errors. After 8.5 innings, Des Moines 13, Arlington 6. Carlton looks like he's going to go the distance. And for Arlington, William Fisher comes up. And then he's been pinch hit for Rudy York. Here's the 0-2. Hit down the line to Cliff to Helton. Got him 1 away. Here's Vince Coleman. Carlton goes into his windup. Coleman been struck out twice already. Here's the 3-2, but he loses Coleman. So Vince, always a threat to steal. Calf is a good hitter, so I expect some action here. Carlton's had 2 walks only today, with 4 strikeouts. Shock goes out to talk to him. Runner on first. Texas crowd all booing their own team. There's a grounder. Helton has it. Over to Renteria. Renteria jumps in the air over to Helton. Couldn't turn the double play. Not in time. So Edgar Renteria showing his athleticism as Helton threw it to him. He got the runner at second, jumped into the air and threw in one motion, but couldn't get the speedy calf. 2 out here as he comes to the end of this massacre. Wagner steps in. Faces to face call. Man on first. Carlton 1-1. Sharp grounder. And this looks like the mercy. The game is over. Des Moines 13, Arlington 6. Here we go. Let's look at this interesting scorecard. Burns went 4 for 6. Jones went 3 for 6. Helton went 3 for 6. Wow. Carlton gets the win. Vida Blue takes the loss. We did, however, see some home runs. Wagner hit one. Hornsby hit one. Orr hit one. And Paris hit one. No, my eyes deceive me. No, that is true. In a loss, Arlington still banged out 4 home runs. Wow. But Des Moines banged out 5. Clift had one. Helton had one. Stanton and Jones had back-to-back home runs. In fact, I need to go back and look. Was it 3 in a row? Because Burns had one as well. They had 5 home runs. We saw 9 home runs in that ball game. Carlton went the distance, 9 innings pitched. Gave up 5 earned runs. Vida Blue gave up 6 earned runs on 6 hits and 6 innings of work. But Vern Law, I'm sure I read in the chat by Ken Castro, Vern Law was a good player. Or did you say you liked Vern Law? Hey, Big Clue, you have missed a beatdown. Hey, Al Red Sox fan, I hope you caught the beatdown. This was another home run festival today. There were many flights out of Arlington. Wow, in fact, we had 5 home runs from Des Moines and we had 4 from Arlington. But the score tells it all. 13-6. Wow. So let's have a look now as we come to the end of this day. That was a fun ball game. And we go back to the 23rd. Okay, so this is what happened today, Clue. I didn't do these games, I simmed them. Your team were rolled over by Mudville 6-4. Hawaii, continuing that psychedelic explosion on the league, 12-11 over PQ Rivers Badlands. We just saw Des Moines take apart Arlington inning by inning with surgical precision. They go to 6-6. Need I say much about my beloved Manchester Red Bolts? They mangled North Sound 17-2. So that's the day that I did sim. That's 23rd. The 24th are there just 2 matchups here. So what I'm going to do, I can't do my own team. So please, Juan Marical, make a win. Yes! The Manchester Red Bolts beat North Sound 7-4. And it's Cleveland, one of the early season favorites against Detroit. That is Steve Tate's dreaded Detroit Cougars. It is McQuillan versus Gooden. 5-4, Dwight Gooden with the victory. So if we go into it, this is Detroit just narrowly losing to Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland losing narrowly to Detroit. And it looks like a very late victory for Detroit. Shoeless Joe Jackson went 2-4. Fred Dunlap continues to be a metronome. Bryce Harper there with a hit. Joltin' Joe with a hit to be at 300. Not bad. McQuillan, in a loss, went 8 innings, only gave up 7 hits and 5 earned runs. But Dwight Gooden, Dr. K, 1985 Doc Gooden, went 9 innings with 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts. The one you want to watch, though, in that Cleveland team, I think, and big clue, there's Ted Kluszewski, 1 for 4. The one to watch, I believe, is Albert Bell. I mean, he's already at 400. 2 for 4. Wow. He is going to be some hitter. Not in the Hall of Fame. For Manchester, just to look and see what happened. Manchester. Let's have a look at Butcher Cook. There is my venerable Tommy Zaka. 2 for 4 to maintain his 388 average. Josh Gibson went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Ted the Splendid Splinter Williams seems to be suddenly performing as well for our Red Sox fan. 380. George Sisters, a pick I made for North Sound. Not a good start. So that is the situation state of play at the moment. To look at the standings, later on I will come back. I'll take a little bit of a break. I will come back in maybe an hour's time. I'm going to eat some lunch. That's where we are. So the next games, in fact I could do this one, there's only one game on the Saturday. Just to make sure I haven't missed any. Those are all final. So 25th, we'll just do 25th. So it's Jersey against Mudville. No, as Clue is here, that would be only fair to broadcast it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is broadcast the game. What's that? Because Clue is here. I'm sure he would like to see his Jersey team. But it is one day. Clue, do you want to see him? If you're in the chat. If you're still there. Or what I will do then is come back and when I've got some more energy again. And do it again. So what I'll do then, Clue, I will, just to get this day out of the way, I'll auto it. And Mudville crush Jersey 11-2. Wow. So now we've almost done a month's play in 1 week. So good going, Steve and Beatles. I will probably do the Sunday game tonight. Do a couple. And then I'll leave Beatles and Steve to fast forward some of these. So I will be back in an hour's time. Before I go, just have a look at the league leaders. Let it update. Is it updated? Here we go. So I think it's updated now. There's the league table. Hawaii leads the league 9-3. Detroit 8-3. Manchester 8-5. Des Moines 6-6. Clue's team is 6-6. Cleveland's team is Todd B. 6-7. Beatles' team is now improved to 6-7. North Sound, which is John's team, is 5-7. Badlands, which is PQ Ribber's team, is 4-7. And Arlington, with some wounds to lick, are 3-10. I suspect Arlington will get better. Leading pitching is Brett Saberhagen. Zach Greinke, my Zach Greinke. So there's Koufax there for John. He's doing okay. Wins, it's all early days. But if we go to the MVP voting, All-Star Game voting, that's what it says. The All-Star pitcher at the moment is Three Finger Brown. Then Salvador Perez, we've just seen him hit a home run in the game today. Mark McGuire, Rogers Hornsby, another Arlington player, by the way. Sid Gordon, Jersey. Robin Yount's having a good season. Frank Robinson's having a good season. Stanton is having a good season for Des Moines. As is Frank Robinson, Shooters Joe, and Willie, let's say, hey kid, doing well in center field. In fact, he is the MVP so far. Batting leaders is my main man, Tommy Tucker, who I predicted to be a star, and I was right. There's the Splendid Splinter, Teddy Ballgame. There he is, Teddy looking good, batting 380 at the moment. Rodrigo Valdez is now slipping just a little bit. Rogelio Valdez. Rodrigo Valdez, that's a boxer, isn't it? A middleweight. If Al's still there, he'll know what I'm talking about. Pop Lloyd. So it's look at that. Perez for Arlington. I wish I'd nabbed him. He's fantastic. But then again, I have got Josh Gibson. So that's the snapshot. So, ladies and gents, thank you very much for being here this morning in terms of the North American time. Will Ford go 3-0? World's Worst Gamer? We shall see. I'll be back roughly in an hour's time. So thank you, World's Worst Gamer, Ken Castro, our Red Sox fan, Bobby Catalano for giving me that Texas toast expression. Big Clue was here. Hi, Big Clue. And I think there are others anonymous. Welcome to the channel. Please go and visit Beatles Eternalist channel and also Steve Tate's channel for more continuation of this. I think I'll do one more game later today and maybe one more sim day and hand over the baton to Beatles. Beatles doesn't tend to do Saturday nights, but I'm sure he does Friday nights. Steve might do some, so one more hour and I'll be back. See you soon. Thanks for being here. For now, bye-bye.